Tonight on Cronkite News, the Phoenix Mercury celebrated a win over the Los Angeles Sparks and Latino night with their fans.
Plus, GCU reached the championship final this weekend in the NCAA Regionals Baseball Tournament, while U of A lost both of their matches. And the end of an era for Pac-12 fans as the Arizona Wildcats played in the final event for the conference. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Mark Radici. And I'm Rachel Masson. Thank you for joining us.
The Phoenix Mercury had a big win last night against the Los Angeles Sparks, beating them 87-68. Along with the team and the win, the fans celebrated Latino culture with the theme of the night being Dia Latina. Cronkite News reporter Iman Abraham has more on the celebration.
Dia Latina Night is all about highlighting Latina culture right here in the Valley.
Man, you saw me swinging my hips out there to Selena. I love that stuff. So to be able to go out, get y'all a win, and celebrate, and just really put emphasis on the community here that is so strong and beautiful, that's who we want to be. We want to be a beacon of light in this community, and I think that's what we're serving.
Not only was it a celebration of culture, but the Mercury celebrated an 87-68 victory over the Sparks. Diana Taurasi led the team with 31 points, which was extra special given how deeply rooted her Latino culture is in her family.
You know, a night like this where we're, honoring what makes this city and this country in a lot of ways what it is, it's pretty special. And to have a big night paired with that, it's a pretty cool feeling.
Taurasi had a record-breaking performance and made history Sunday night as the 41-year-old broke her own record for being the oldest player in WNBA or NBA history with a 31-point game.
I have a lot of Tios and Tias that aren't related to me, but they might as well be blood. And that's how I treat this team, the city, and every time I put this jersey on, that's the feeling I get.
Dia Latina Night is just one way the Mercury are continuing to recognize the culture here in the Valley. And what better way than for Taurasi and her team to represent the community and pull out the victory. In Phoenix, Iman Abraham, Cronkite News.
The Mercury take on the Storm in Seattle tomorrow night before returning home to host the Lynx on Friday night at the Footprint Center.
Over the weekend, Grand Canyon University's baseball program earned its first 2 NCAA tournament wins in school history and a trip to the regional final. GCU came into the tournament as the 4th seed and were considered underdogs by almost everyone. But the Lopes cruised to a 9-4 win over the top-seeded Arizona Wildcats on Friday night and then waged an epic come-from-behind victory on Sunday against Dallas Baptist after trailing 8-3 in the 5th inning. The Lopes garnered 9 runs in their final 4 frames at the plate. They eventually lost to West Virginia in the regional final, which ended GCU's season. It's not the outcome they wanted, but head coach Greg Wallace and his players are able to keep their heads high on this special season.
I just knew that in my heart that these guys deserved an opportunity to show how good they are, and then to come into what everyone said was the toughest regional and beat 2 really quality programs, make it to a regional championship for the first time in program history and be one of the last 32 teams standing. It's the right way for these 2 guys sitting beside me and all of our guys to end the year.
GCU also placed 5 players to the All-Tucson Regional team. The Lopes say this run helps it set a new standard for the school's baseball program as they move forward into next season.
It was a disappointing end to Arizona's baseball season as they lost to GCU and Dallas Baptist. Despite winning the Pac-12 regular season and tournament titles, plus hosting their own regional, the Wildcats were eliminated early. Pitching was a real struggle for the Wildcats this weekend. Arizona pitcher Clark Candiotti gave up 5 earned runs and Cam Walty allowed 9 hits and 6 earned runs through 4 innings of action. On the other side, GCU's Grant Richardson and Dallas Baptist Jaron Debris were a force to be reckoned with on the mound. The 2 combined for 1 total earned run against Arizona this weekend. Although the Wildcats season is over, head coach Chip Hale is proud of the fact that his team never gave up.
These guys have been unbelievable, and the culture change with the pitching, the culture change with the bench, Even in the ninth inning today, guys screaming and yelling for guys to get a hit, and I was so happy for Emilio to get a hit after the tough hand fracture and getting back in there. That kind of summarizes this ball club. They're just never going to die.
Keeping in the perspective, the Wildcats were picked to finish 9th in the Pac-12 this year, and they ended up winning the conference championship and the Pac-12 tournament.
And, Marco, speaking of the Pac-12 baseball tournament, that event at Scottsdale Stadium was the final sporting event for the league, as 10 of the 12 original Pac-12 members will be joining new conferences next spring. Cronkite News reporter Jack Bartlett was there for the historic moment as players and coaches reflected on what the conference has meant to the sport of baseball.
The Pac-12 baseball tournament officially marked the end of an era for the Conference of Champions as we know it. Something that players and coaches will miss dearly, especially for Arizona infielder Tommy Splain, whose walk-off winning hit gave the Wildcats the tournament victory.
It means everything. I grew up an Arizona fan, diehard Pac-12 fan, so this is a really big one for Arizona.
Though the tournament was just in its third year, the Pac-12 Baseball Conference has a long history, with 7 schools combining for 29 national championships, which is twice as many titles as the SEC, the second-place conference.
This conference has been a staple for a lot of years and brought home a lot of national championships and produced a ungodly number of major league players and draft picks, and to see that dissolve is saddening, I guess. In a lot of ways, it's been a very fun, competitive, rival-filled conference for a long time.
ASU head coach Willie Bloomquist, along with Arizona head coach Chip Hale, are 2 of the 4 coaches in the Pac-12 who have coached the teams they played for. Hale ends his time becoming the first Pac-12 Coach of the Year to have previously earned the Player of the Year award back in 1987.
It is a special honor for me. Obviously, I think it's a staff honor, but to be the Player of the Year in 1987, co-player with Torey Lovello, was very special to me at that time. And now to know, I had no idea until yesterday that's the case. It's a great honor, and it's sad that this conference is going away.
For fans, it was more than just a conference. It was a place of community, family, and a place to cheer on your favorite schools.
While Arizona was eliminated from the tournament, there are still Pac-12 members who are moving on to the Super Regionals. Oregon beat UC Santa Barbara by a final score of 3-0 to win the Santa Barbara Regional. Oregon State currently leads UC Irvine by a score of 6-4. I'm Jack Bartlett with Cronkite News.
Moving to the Wildcats football team, the Arizona Wildcats received their early Big 12 2024 football schedule. The Wildcats will be playing their first season in the new conference. The Wildcats will open their Big 12 football home schedule by taking on the Utah Utes on Saturday, September 28th. Later in the season, Arizona will host Colorado, West Virginia, Houston, and Arizona State.
Now, Arizona State football will start their home Big 12 schedule with the game against Kansas. After Kansas, ASU will host Utah, UCF, and BYU. Both Arizona and Arizona State will have 2 bye weeks in the upcoming season. The 2 teams will keep their rivalry matchup taking place in Tucson on Saturday, November 13th. The remaining Big 12 schedule will be revealed 6 or 12 days before each game day.
Now, the sports world was shocked by the recent death of golfer Grayson Murray.
Murray's tragic death shines a light on the importance of taking care of your mental health. Coming up after the break, we'll introduce you to an organization founded in part by a former ASU lacrosse player aimed at helping athletes who are struggling with their own mental health. Plus, it was a warm weekend across the valley, and it's about to get even warmer. Your full forecast is coming up next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage.
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
The Sun Devil athletic community continues to mourn the loss of former golfer Grayson Murray, who died by suicide 9 days ago. The PGA golfer had struggled with mental health issues and substance abuse.
That's right. Murray's story is calling attention to more support systems for athletes. At ASU, 2 lacrosse players, Bryn Holohan and Lexi Guerin, founded the campus chapter of Morgan's Message, a mental health organisation focused on student athletes. Our John Busker takes a closer look at how the group is building a community.
Morgan Rogers was a Duke women's lacrosse player who took her own life after a career-ending injury. Us being lacrosse players, it was a very prominent story in the lacrosse community. Throughout other teammates, other colleges, we had seen that Morgan's Message has grown as like a program and an organization.
The overall goal of Morgan's Message is to amplify stories, resources, and expertise to strengthen student-athlete mental health and to build a community by and for athletes.
First one was just like an introduction meeting with just what Morgan's Message is and who Morgan was, because that's definitely important and we want to honor Morgan the best we can. Today we did coping with stress, and we've also done injuries and body image and eating disorders too.
The meetings for Morgan's Message take place here at the Carson Student Athlete Center. The meetings often have guest speakers, and the attendees include athletes from a variety of different ASU sports.
Well, we started with just a couple people, and then it has grown. So mostly our teammates showed up at first, and then we got wrestlers, gymnasts, swimmers, and just like multiple different teams. And we definitely have more room to grow, but it's crazy to see how many people we have gained.
Having moved to Arizona from the Midwest, they both had a hard time adjusting to their new schedules and new lives. But with Morgan's Message, not only have they been able to help others, they've found support from others as well.
I know that we're leaders of this organization, but we also feel support from everyone around us, and we also feel support from our teammates too. So that's been awesome to have both our teammates and other athletes too that are going through similar things.
The support they receive from their teammates has been special to them, as they both said their favorite part of playing lacrosse was playing with their best friends every day. In Tempe, John Busker, Cronkite News.
Now, Bryn Holohan has since graduated, but Lexi Guerin continues the work she started with Morgan's Message as she enters her senior season on the ASU lacrosse team. Now, turning to the weather, it's been getting warmer here in the Valley over the last few days.
That's right. And as Joseph tells us, it's about to get even warmer over the next few days. He joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center with what we can expect.
Thanks, guys. Let's jump right into it here on our evening planner on Monday, kicking off at 6 p.m. here, 101 degrees, but it's going to get cooler as we progress on through the rest of the night. We'll drop here at 10 p.m. Right around 91 degrees to start hitting those double digits as we get on later in the evening. But a chance to look at the lows for tomorrow on Tuesday, a place to look at up here in Grand Canyon, 46 degrees, but down here in the Valley in Phoenix, not too much of a low, 80 degrees, more of a higher temperature, if you will say, but we'll take a look at some of the highs for tomorrow on Tuesday. Starting out with 9 of these cities here are going to be in triple digits. Now Phoenix 104 degrees. Now the hottest place though to look at is up here in Bullhead City at 107 degrees. Now we'll take a look at the futurecast starting off from tomorrow to early evening on Thursday. Not too much activity going on here throughout the rest of the United States. Some cloud coverage. We'll get some movement down here in New Orleans and all the way up here as far as Boston. Some rain kicking into the forecast, but New Orleans did kick off the hurricane season back on Saturday. Something to look out for. They're expecting a above average hurricane season this year. But we'll take a look at the 8-day forecast. And now starting off on Tuesday, 104 degrees, but it's only going to get hotter throughout the rest of the week as we continue to look at the rest of the weekend. Friday, 112, leaning all the way into the rest of the week. It's going to be kicking back up early in the weekend at 106 and 108. But that's going to do it here for the Cronkite Weather Report. I'm Joseph Furtado. Back to you guys at the desk.
Very hot indeed. Thank you, Joseph. Coming up next, a look at the headlines from across the country and right here in Arizona.
And luckily, there is good news to report when it comes to tragic overdoses. However, new data shows overdoses are actually down across the country, but not here in Arizona. A closer look at a new report when we return.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
and develop your skills with the latest technology.
I'm Iman Abraham with a look now at news from across the state and nation. Every day you see stories about people dying of fentanyl, and the drug continues to plague the nation. Regan Gallo tells us there is some positive news and that death rates may be moving in the right direction.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recently announced a decrease in drug overdose deaths. This 3% decline is the first decrease since 2018, but Arizona is still not following the same trend.
So we come out, and if you look in our van, it's full of Narcan, xylazine testing strips, fentanyl test strips.
Brock Bevel serves his community every day with his nonprofit called Fentanyl Project AZ.
And if you can keep them alive, then tomorrow they have a chance to recover.
And while he is glad to hear the national rate of fentanyl deaths is down, based on what he sees, Arizona has a long way to go before it sees progress. And he's right. According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, from 2022 to 2023, Arizona saw a slight increase in opioid deaths. Bevel believes the potency because of the proximity to the border may be one of the reasons for the increase.
Arizona is the first line of defense. Comes to the border, it comes into Mesa, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Chandler, all of our community.
Dr. Sarah Solik is the Chief Medical Officer of Arizona's Healthcare Cost Containment System, also known as AHCCS or Access. She understands the challenges the state faces.
We're still losing over 5 Arizonans a day to the opioid epidemic, and so the epidemic is still here.
But Dr. Solik believes we are moving in the right direction. She notes the state receives federal money to fund programs like primary intervention, substance abuse coalitions, and naloxone distribution.
There could never be enough naloxone. It's a life-saving drug.
Despite wider distribution of the life-saving drug by emergency services and pharmacies, Bevel says it is not always well received.
But what homeless guy's going to walk into a police department and say, "Can I get some Narcan?" Right? It doesn't work that way.
Dr. Solik says programs like Sonora Prevention Works, which provides human-to-human outreach to distribute naloxone, are so important.
We'll meet you where you're at, and that includes under the bridge, on the street, etc., because your life matters.
Dr. Solik admits this is a multi-layered issue that requires complex problem solving, and for communities across Arizona to lend a helping hand.
We can all make a difference, right, in our everyday lives in regards to people that are impacted by substance use conditions.
Access to treatment is also key to bring down overdose deaths. Dr. Solik says Arizona has 4 24/7 opioid treatment centers, and there are at least 43 treatment and naloxone centers within a 25-mile radius of Phoenix listed on the Access website. In the newsroom, Regan Gallo for Cronkite News.
There are 8 wildfires currently burning in Arizona, according to InsaWeb, which tracks fires across the country. The Adams fire, which started Sunday, has officials warning of evacuations. Residents who live in Goldfield Ranch community east of Fountain Hills are being told there is significant danger and to get ready. As of late Monday afternoon, the fire had burned about 3,200 acres. A man from Strawberry, Arizona has been arrested for setting 3 fires along State Highway 87 over the Memorial Day weekend. In a press release, the Gila County Sheriff's Office says witnesses helped law enforcement locate the suspect, who will be charged with 6 felony counts, including intentionally setting a wildland fire. The fires were all contained to under 1 acre. Former President Trump will be coming to the Valley to campaign on June 6. Trump will host a town hall event at the Dream City Church in North Phoenix. Trump is expected to answer a few questions from local voters. Those who wish to participate can find tickets online. Former President Trump's conviction on 34 felony counts in the New York hush money trial has elicited reaction from Arizona politicians across the aisle. Senator Mark Kelly released a statement saying that nobody is above the law and said it is a sad day to see for the first time a former president convicted of criminal charges. Congresswoman Debbie Lesko told Fox Business News that the trial's verdict is only driving more support to Trump's rerun for president. And Congressman Andy Biggs said in a statement, quote, "We will not be deterred by the radical left's weaponizing and corrupting of the judicial system, similar to the former USR, to attack all political opponents." Coming up next, exciting things are happening in Tucson. Who took home the rights to brag about their win, and who will have to wait until next season to take home the gold?
What Cronkite News means to me is opportunity.
We do news right at Cronkite News, serving a community ethically, honestly, and truthfully.
And we can provide a necessarily different angle, different voice for those people that really need it.
The students, they have a lot of passion for journalism.
I get to do a lot of stories about the Hispanic community.
And we have access to cover all of these sorts of events and get media coverage of all these different personalities and athletes, and that's just a huge thing.
But it's also a chance for people here to be humanized. Individuals of all walks of life.
Cronkite News will help take the next generation of journalists onto their next careers.
I am old enough to remember Walter Cronkite.
We're putting a lot of pride on his name because we are practicing a lot of the things that he did.
I think he'd be smiling from ear to ear.
I.
We are Cronkite.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Now, finally tonight, we head back to the Tucson Regional Baseball Tournament, where West Virginia won it all this weekend.
And in true Blue Ridge Mountain spirit, the baseball team belted out a John Denver classic for its fans.
Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday.
It was a nice celebration for the Mountaineers, who move on to the Super Regional, a step closer to heading to the College World Series, and a great send-off for head coach Randy Mazey, who's retiring at the end of the season, but he'll have to wait a little longer before he heads down the country road of retirement. Now, Marco, I don't know about you, but I think those players are just a little too young to know John Denver.
Oh, come on, it's a classic. Surely they've got to teach you that at West Virginia.
Well, probably, but I guess we'll never know. That'll do it for this edition of Cronkite News.